What's up, my little pretties? It's your mistress, the Queen of Lions here, and today we are back with a discussion video. Now, today in this discussion video, I'm going to be talking about is school. Now, here's the thing. This is the kind of discussion video on my opinion on why I do not like school. Now, but here's the reason. If you remember my old channel, I did talk about high school and elementary school, of why my life was rough at one of those times. Well, here's my reasons why I'm going to make it all in one video. One of them being, instead of doing two separate videos, I might do in one video or maybe just split into two parts. But today in this matter, though, I'm just going to explain, why I don't really like school. Now, I'm going to start off by saying that there are lots of reasons why school nowadays is just not as good. One of them being, and this is not the really major, well, it kind of is a major thing, is that schools nowadays are not teaching kids what they should be teaching. Like, I don't understand why that's the case with this, but in this case, students are pretty much complaining, to teachers in the school saying, we're not getting taught, how to do this or something. And that the students have to go on strike over it, It has happened. Not gonna lie. It has happened. And I know the teachers went on strike at least a few times too. I'm not even joking. But here's one thing I could definitely say about school, is that for schools, they don't really teach you a whole lot like they should be doing. Like how to pay for taxes and stuff like that. Sure, they give you some basic math, how to, do them, but I feel that they don't teach you enough. And that is the problem. This is a problem for school, is that they're not teaching you enough things that you want them to teach in order to get, move on and stuff. It's the kind of thing that is really frustrating. Like, it's frustrating for some people. It's frustrating for people even now today. They're doing online school, and, I don't blame them for the frustration they went through. But the thing about it is that, I just feel that, schools really need to, step up and, teach what they should be teaching. Not sitting there, not teaching the stuff that you need to know. Obviously, that's the case. Well, that's not the case because a lot of people nowadays don't know what to teach for school. And this is the very problem when it comes to school, is that nowadays school of its own self is just, if not getting worse. But this is just my opinion, though. If you disagree with my opinion, that's okay. But please do not take my opinion seriously. But for school, in my opinion, I have to say, I don't even know what to do. With school, it becomes a really big problem. I don't even know why it's a problem, but school nowadays really just... Okay, I don't understand why school is like, a really big problem nowadays, but here's the thing. They have to teach us, certain things, like the history and stuff like that. Well, sometimes, in some situations, schools won't be able to teach that. I don't understand or get it, but it's the truth. School, of its own self, is obviously one of the reasons why I almost gave up a few times. Now, I will be getting to why I almost gave up on high school, which I will be getting to that in a little bit. But let me just explain. High school and elementary school are completely different. They are different because in elementary school, well, in most cases, elementary school is from elementary school, when I went there, I went to two elementary schools. One I went to was a public school, and one was an elementary school. Well, there's still the elementary school. There's the same thing. But I went to two different ones. Now, most elementary schools where I am range from ages kindergarten to around grade 8. Now, some of you guys who lived in the States probably have middle schools and that, but as far as I know, I don't have middle schools. I don't have middle schools around here where I am. But, You guys might have middle schools, just comment down below. But, with all due sincerity, I just really feel that, that the schools that they're teaching nowadays is just, I don't know. I completely don't know what to say anymore. And here's the big problem when it comes to school. When it comes to school, they obviously are trying to teach you the things that you're supposed to be learning. Like, you're trying to learn from the schools that you're trying to do. But in all honesty, it's not working. Unfortunately, now it's not working. That a lot of schools are not teaching what we need to be learning. It's a problem. When it comes to, high school, when you get to high school from like grade 9 to grade 12, they used to call it grade 13 back then, but now they don't anymore. But from grade 9 to grade 10, those two are like the hardest years. And as far as I know, it's just mainly the fact that, mainly the reason why being for that is because, and I'm going to repeat, and I'm not even joking when I say this, is because they have harder subjects. Depending if you want to go to university, college, apprenticeship, or even workplace, there are certain levels. Now, where I'm from, they have, certain levels for all grades. Now, for grade 9 and 10, they have things called locally developed, which is, to get you into workplace. Probably apprenticeship, but I don't know. They have applied, which you could take those classes to go to college. No, wait, university. Academic, which is like college courses. And then there's even some classes that they mix college and university in. And I took one or two college university classes, and one of them I passed with 66%. Like, it was a hard course, I get it, but with all due sincerity, the school itself, nowadays, it's just really messed up. Not even really great anymore. I just feel that, school needs to improve better. Otherwise, they're just going to sit there and get worse. That might be just from my perspective. But in my opinion, they're just, I don't even know what to say anymore about school. Now, this is not a rant. This is just me discussing, about school in general. Now, if you like school, that's fine. Like, I don't have any problems with people liking school. But let me guess. Now, before I go on with high school, why high school was rough, let me go to elementary school. Now, the best years I can say was from, like, kindergarten to, like, maybe from kindergarten to around, I guess, maybe grade 5 or grade 6. Grade 5 was a pretty good year, I could say. I spent, a lot of great years in elementary school. But it started going downhill ever since, grade 7, I guess. And then grade 8, it got worse. At least to me, that is. Now, for those who stuck around my old, not my old channel, but, like, my old videos, back last year, I really explained myself about, why high school was rough for me and why elementary school was rough for me. But I'm going to cover this in one video because they're kind of identical to what I went through. Now, in grade 7, most of the year was going well, but I was being bullied. Like, I'm not going to say per people's name for who bullied me just for privacy reasons, but I could definitely say there was a guy that bullied me. He ended up harassing me in the most, I don't even know. He ended up bullying me by, calling me names, saying to me to, go away and stuff like that. He said a lot of, those things. Now, I'm not going to say the person's name who did it because, well, privacy reasons. I don't want to get in trouble in the future. But, I got bullied in grade 7. There was two guys there was another guy that also bullied me, and of its own self, they both made me feel that I'm not wanted in school. And that was one of the reasons why I wanted to run away from home a few times. And there was a few times where I just wanted to, just drop out of school or move and switch schools in general because of the harassment. Because I was trying to get the bullying to stop. I tried talking to the teacher did nothing. Even I say they're actually doing it, and they said, well, if you could prove it, I'll do something. I'm like, I was really mad. The fact that the teacher wouldn't do anything about it. I went to the principal, and they tried to do something, but it still kept going on. Even I told the teachers, they still wouldn't believe me. Now, how I got them to prove it was, I have one of my friends, and he ended up, listening in on what's going on and keeping an eye on me and the bullying between me and the other two guys that were bullying me. He ended up reporting it to the teacher and the principal, and they got suspended. But they started leaving me alone, in grade 7. But however, though, the bullying kept going on and on at recess time. At recess time, I tried to tell them off. And there was even a time where I exploded my anger on them because they wouldn't leave me alone. I told them time and time to leave me alone, stop bullying me, and if you don't like when I'm doing stuff, get out of there, basically. I told them off time and time again, but unfortunately, it's just, again, I'm frustrated, completely frustrated with, the bullying. I did have a lot of great friends there as well. They even helped me out with stuff. But there was, a lot of problems with the bullying. And, it got worse in grade 8. And oh boy, grade 8 was one of the worst years I've ever had in school. Now, here's something I'm going to say. Now, grade 7 was good for the most part, but it went downhill ever since I've been bullied. Now we're going to go on to grade 8. I almost dropped out of school. I almost dropped out of grade 8 too. Because of that. It got worse. Why it got worse is going to be, my question. I still don't know why it went on to this very day, but let's begin. Now in grade 8, I had really amazing friends. I had no bullies in my class, which is thank God, but one bully was in one classroom that lived next door, that had a classroom next door to me, but he didn't really care. And there was another student that had a classroom, I guess across the hallway from me on another room. But, no bullying was happening most of the time in the classroom. But until this one girl. I'm not going to say her name for privacy reasons yet again. I don't want to get caught. But let's just say she started basically spreading rumors about me. I started, talking to my friends, about childhood shows let's just say Foursquare and that, because I was writing a story basically on Foursquare. Now, I don't know if I will make it a digital so then I can narrate it on my channel if you guys want to. If you want me to, do that, just let me know in the comments below. I think I still have it, written down. I think it's still, in my room somewhere, but if I could find it, I definitely will make maybe another video, me showing you that. But here's the thing. When it came to school of its own self was really messed up in a matter of ways that I can count. When I liked Foursquare, I was talking about that. I was talking about Pokemon. And, lots of my friends were really okay with that. I said I do repeat myself because I have autism. And, that's probably why my creepypastas have been repetitive, because I do tend to repeat myself. I don't tend to repeat myself, but I do. It's a problem with my autism. And, I might make another video mentioning about autism, why autism is really hard on me, which I might make a separate video talking about that. But here's the thing, and I'm going to be completely honest when I say this. You probably see my reviews on me repeating something. That has happened. And, I can't help it when it comes to me repeating things. I cannot help it. I try to not repeat myself, but it keeps going on. I had and this girl who was bullying me, she ended up, harassing me. Like, only verbally. And she only did that when teachers weren't around. And even when I was hanging out with my friends didn't, they either didn't hear me, or they ignored me, or they just didn't understand what was going on. This girl, she started, telling me off, calling me out for stuff that I didn't even do. She started even spreading rumors saying I did this to a certain person, and I did not do it. She did that because she wanted attention. And she thinks, she was kind of like a popular girl, she's acting like one of those kind of girls that are popular at school, She was kind of acting like that, even though I was trying, to stay away and back down, I did not want to make it worse, so I told her one recess, it was recess time one day when I was hanging out with my friends, nothing, no problems. But then she comes up and she said that I'm ugly. And one of my friends just told her off, and I called her out saying that was not appropriate. I went to go tell a teacher who is on duty at recess. And every time I went to one of them, they did nothing. They sided with them and told me off. I tried to tell them it was true, and they criticized me for it. And this is another thing. There was another teacher, a grade 8 teacher, and I could just say that I didn't like her. Not saying her name yet again, people. I'm not saying people's names for personal reasons. But I can definitely say she was not really nice. And I'm going to be honest when I say this, is that every time, I talk about, Disney characters like Winnie the Pooh and stuff like that. And, there was no problem with anybody, saying, no problem with the students. Mainly my friends had no problem with me, sitting there and, saying stuff like, I guess, what was it? Like I say, a certain quote from a Disney movie or a show. They ended up going up to me. And this teacher, she criticized me for liking Winnie the Pooh and stuff, saying, oh, that's for babies and stuff, and Disney's for children. Just because Disney is tended to target kids and stuff like that, that does not mean adults and teens can't like Disney. I'm 21 years old, about to turn 22. I love Disney. There's no problem with any adults liking Disney. Like, there's some of my fans nowadays, even though some of them, they don't watch Disney movies so much, even though they're adults or something like that, they still like Disney. And there's no problem with liking Disney at an older age. There's no problem with liking Disney. I'm not even going to joke about it. There's no problem with anyone liking Disney, regardless of their age. Heck, they can even be maybe 40-something years old, and they'll still like Disney. I have no problem with anyone, liking Disney, even though they're 16 or something. Okay. I'm going to be completely honest. With this right here, that I'm going to be completely honest, is that nowadays, I think school with criticism really needs to take an advantage. I think they're going too far with some of this. If you disagree with me, that's okay. Like, I'm okay if you guys, disagree with me on this, but please be honest with it. And there's another reason why I hate school. Like, I hate school. Like, another reason why was that because every time I try to report to the office or even the teacher that someone's bullying me, they won't do a thing. Like, I'm going to be honest. They will not do a thing. They don't sit there and talk to the person. They don't call them out for stuff that they did, and they think I'm tattletaling. That is not true. I do not tattletale. Well, maybe I do sometimes on my streams, but even though I probably do sometimes in my videos, but you guys already know I'm not the person to tattletale. I'm not the person to, to do this. I'm not the type of person to sit there and, take, things differently. However, there is a reason why I have autism. And, I tell people I'm autistic. Can you just drop it? I'm just like that. I got in trouble by, my teacher for something I didn't do. And that has happened a few times. That's why I told my mom, and that's why my mom had to go to the school to complain a few times, because it wouldn't stop. And, that's kind of why I was a really shy girl when it came to, meeting new people. Because I keep having flashbacks because of that, and I was feeling very depressed. I was alone. I felt that, I'm not wanted yet again. Okay. I'm sorry if I'm going on too long with this, but I'm trying to keep it as short as I possibly can. But, this video is already as long as it is. I'm going to try to wrap it up. But, I'm going to make this as quick as I can with the elementary school, because I don't want to sit there and make it, a 2-hour long video. Now with elementary school. When I was doing elementary school, a lot of teachers. There was this one teacher, and I didn't like him either. But I'm not going to say his name. But he told me enough talking about Winnie the Pooh or characters like that. I'm like, dude, it's just Disney. Like, give me a break. That's just what I said. Because, teachers can criticize you for things that you didn't do. I'm not saying all teachers do this, but it happens. This is kind of one of the reasons why school is becoming a problem now. This is probably why so many people are dropping out, is because of it. I'm not even joking. Even before 2020, people were still dropping out by then. And I'm not even joking when I say this. Now, here's one thing that I'm going to be completely and utterly honest, is this. Ever since then, a lot of teachers really picked on me and stuff. When I graduated, they were happy to see me again. But when I talked about certain things, they didn't care anymore. They didn't bother to, criticize me, is because they were called out for doing that. After my mom went to the school and complained a few times, all the teachers were called out for it. Not all teachers, but the teachers that were picking on me were called out for it. Same with some of the students that did bully me. They were called out. That's why they didn't bother to sit there, do all the things to me, harassing me and stuff like that. Now we get to high school. Ever since I got into high school, grade 9 was actually one of the not the worst grades, but the hardest grades, because there's so many hard courses. You have to take, 2 science classes, 3 math classes, and an English for every single one. And, here's the thing. The students there that have special needs and they were in my class, I did not get criticized. I did not get bullied. I was happy. I was like the world of me before people sat there and took an advantage of my autism, and sit there and spout hate. I was really happy when that happened because, I was getting really sick and tired of it. But thank God it's not the case anymore. Because people nowadays are understanding who I am. For those who are, who've known me for a very long time, who probably are, I don't even know I could say, who, I can't even tell if they're watching this video. They probably are. The students of me in the past who are watching this video, I hope you understood how I felt. And I hope for the future that you take this and use it as a device to anyone who is going to be in grade 8 or something. One thing I'm going to say is to not be a bully. Understand what I went through is what I don't want anyone else in the future to go through. I don't even want my kids to go through this either. Now in grade 10. Now grade 10 was a good year as well. Grade 9 was rough, but grade 10 was actually getting a little easier, but it had challenges because there's like when you go to different grades, they do get harder and they do, do a lot of stuff. For grade 9 and 10, they have certain courses you have to take and they can be a hard pain in the butt. So that's kind of why they sat there and did it. Now here's another thing. And I'm going to be completely honest when I say this. I'm not going to sound rude, but you should probably already know is this. With of its own self, regarding school, nowadays, school doesn't really take a toll on you. Well, it can take a toll on you. Depending on the situation, it can take a toll on you. And that's the really major thing why school nowadays is not really that great. I'm hoping that school, start doing more stuff because, it's just, something. And for those who are watching this video, I hope you do take consideration of, for the future. Now, when it comes to grade 11 was good, and the same with grade 12. But here's the thing. I wanted to graduate at grade 10. No, wait, at grade 12 on my victory lap. I wanted to graduate, but I realized that I had no credit. I didn't have any 30 credits to graduate, so I had to stay an extra year. And the extra year of school was really taking a toll. I was getting, basically, teachers started ranting on me. They started, spouting hate and that. And I kept getting into arguments with them, even though I didn't want to be in arguments. I didn't want to be in arguments, and I just tried to stay out of it, but they pulled me right in like a fish. I don't even know why they decided to do that, but they did. And this was kind of a problem. I tried to go to the principal, but they did nothing, and I just ignored them. And I was mainly quiet, and was only talked when told, and whenever I see a few of my friends, that's when I was talkative. But other than that, I was a quiet mouse. But then ever since I got into, graduation, everything's all good. But, I don't know if I am going to go into college. I might consider not because of what happened in the past. But I might. But it's hard to say. I don't even know when that will be, but, it is hard to say. Okay. I think I'm going to wrap up this video because it's just long enough as it is. But here's the thing, people. I love you all, and I love the people who were supporting me throughout those rough times. And for you guys, if you guys are in school, please take a listen to this and understand what I went through, and hope that nobody has to go through what I did. Or if you did go through what I did, just like I did, or something like that, or something else rougher than that, I feel sorry for you. Okay. Thank you so much for understanding and listening to this video. Like always, please roll the outro because I'm out of here. And I'm going to go and get my brain fixed because I have a headache after spouting out what I had to say. That's all I have to say about school. No needing to, offense to anybody, but I just need to get this out of my chest. Thank you so much for your understanding, and I'll be seeing you all in the next video. Peace out.